All
right. Tell me a little bit about the off-season activities that your team's been taking part in.
Well, we just finished the Festival Trees, which is the annual fundraiser for the Crisis Center here in town. What happens is they have a auction in the evening, and we go in after the auction's over. They auction off Christmas trees, and we go in and wrap the trees and put them in a U-Haul, and the next day we go deliver them to the people that won them in the auction.
Who auctions off the trees?
The Crisis Center.
The Crisis
Everything in that fundraiser is set up for the Community Crisis Center.
So they set up a tree auction, they auction them off, and then your team helps deliver those trees?
Correct.
All right. And do you take part in any of the planning prior to the actual auction?
Not really. Occasionally we'll help them set up by helping with the decorations. Last year we had to do a lot of work. This year we didn't do as much. And then after the event is over, we come in and we help clean up and wrap the trees up in this
the bindings?
Yeah,
Saran wrap.
this saran wrap type deal, and then that way we don't have to take all the ornaments off and reset them and stuff, and then we go ahead that evening, pack them into a U-Haul and set up a travel itinerary for the following day on where we're going to go first, where we're going to go last, where we're going to finish up with the U-Haul and go deliver those trees to those people that got them in the auction, and all the money goes, to help the Community Crisis Center.
How many trees did you deliver?
This year, I think it was 11, including a large wreath.
Mm-hmm.
There have been years where we've delivered around 25 to 27. So,
how many, or what's the average cost of a tree? What's a tree go for on average?
Well, most of the trees are just normal Walmart, trees, but the things that go on them, like last year we had an OSU tree.
So they're pre-decorated trees.
What happens is a member of the community buys the tree. Mm-hmm. They pledge a tree to the Community Crisis Center, and they decorate that tree for the Community Crisis Center, and then they go present it during that auction, buy it, wrap it, take it to them. I would probably say, there have been years I bet the tree was worth $1,000. But I bet they spend well into the hundreds. For a lot of those trees. We had a John Deere tree this year that was probably pretty expensive, but wow. The OSU tree last year had signed footballs from the head coaches at the respective institutions, but the decor around it, one side was OSU, one side was OU, those things were going for $6 or $7, $15 an ornament sometimes. So just depends what company. I mean, they come, a variety of people pledge the trees, so not all of them have a lot of money for the tree to be awesome, but most of them come in and do a great job.
Cool. And did you take part in this festivity?
I helped on the delivery and the preparing of the trees to go into the truck.
Yeah, we had to have a tall guy to get to the top of the trees.
Get to the top of the trees.
Yeah.
And do you know how much money in all you raised with that one?
Well, we never get to see that. I know that this year was kind of a tough year, but it's been that way the last 2 or 3 years that we've done this. I know about 7 years ago, well, not 7, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we had a $100,000 auction.
Wow.
I bet you with the silent auction items, they probably make between $20,000 and $35,000 overall for the Community Crisis Center.
And all of it goes to the Crisis Center?
All of it goes to the Crisis Center, but that is also just their one major fundraiser that they do. They don't do anything else.
How long have you, as a part of the NEO community, been contributing to the Crisis Center in that capacity?
Well, we've been doing it since the inception of the Festival of Trees.
So every year?
So 8 years ago, we started doing that, and that was my wife was working for the Crisis Center, and they came up with this idea as a fundraiser, and we just volunteered to assist in that. So,
how many players did you have turn out to help you?
Everybody on our team will do something, whether it's show up the first night and help set up, or show up the next night and help break down, or be in the group that delivers the trees the next day. Everybody will be involved in some way. So all 35 guys. So
I see a lot of community involvement from coaches and players here at NEO, and you're obviously no different. Do you really stress that, in the community giving back and taking part and being active to your team?
Well, the community is probably one of the most important aspects of coaching in a small community, especially like Miami. There's not a lot of, you can't go out and fundraise everything that you need in this community because there's a lot of things like this that are obviously a lot more important than baseball. But it's, I guess, actually I kind of lost my train of thought.
It's all right. You're active in the community.
We're extremely active in the community, not just in the Festival of Trees, but whatever else comes up. If I get a phone call from Yeah, we laid sod for the Little League, and we just took our entire team out there and laid, I don't know how much sod, but it was a lot of sod.
So
And
in addition to doing things for Little League, you're going to be taking part in basketball. And
yeah, this year actually we're going to provide all the refereeing for the Little League basketball program, which lasts about 6 weeks. It's starting first week in January. It kind of runs into our season, so it's going to take some organizational masterpiece, but we'll get it to work out.
So you have players who are being refs during Little League games.
Yes, and that's one thing. Jamie Williams came to me and said, you know what, we've had so many problems with the officials that just don't show up, and then we get stuck with no options because they don't pay great, but it's also Little League. It's Little League. They're not, it's like, I don't know, $10 a game or something like that, which is fine. It's probably all it's really should pay, but. They have a lot of problems with, somebody calls in sick and they don't have a replacement. This was a way that they got, a pool of 35 guys, and we probably have 7 or 8 guys that have done this already. So we kind of organized them, said, would you be interested in helping us out with this? And all the guys said, yeah, that'd be a nice little way to give back to the community as well. And, we're always looking for some things like that to try to help. And, my dad told me one time that as a coach, you'd rather be judged on your product than your championships. Mm-hmm. And your product is the people that come out of your program.
Yep, character.
The character, who they are, and what they are. So to give them an idea of what it's like to live in a community and provide and give back, I think helps in the process of their growth as student athletes. And so it's definitely an important part of our program.
When does the basketball game start?
January 10th. I think they had a difficult time with scheduling this year, and we do have another gym finally to work with. We also have to, in the mix of doing Little League basketball, we'll have the NEO basketball tournament to work ourselves too. So, it's going to be probably 2 or 3 nights a week, 2 or 3 games a night. We'll split it up between all of our guys. I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. We'll also help them a little bit with scoring and that type of stuff.
Will you be able to provide enough players to cover all positions so that they're not even going to need to look outside?
That's kind of why they wanted to do this. I know that one of the Osborns, I can't remember which one of the Osborns that Jamie was working with, but it's basically they got together and said, let's see if Roger would do this because he's got a big group of guys, and I think this will be the first year. So I don't think we'll go through it without any bumps in the road. I think we'll have some issues we'll have to deal with, but I think it'll be a good experience for the guys, and we'll provide every single game a referee for those 6 weeks, and it'll go a little bit into our season. There'll be some challenges we'll have to face.
Will you personally be donning the black and white?
Well, yeah, I hope not, but I imagine that if we have somebody call in sick and there's nobody to replace them, I might be doing it.
So you guys are going to be playing standby then on the refs?
He'll be playing more standby than me. But
first alternative, right?
Yeah, I'm second alternative. But it's going to be. I imagine I'll probably end up having to do some, which is fine. That's the whole point of getting in there and doing that is you want to do a good job. You want your guys to have a good experience, but more importantly, you want those kids to have a good experience and recognize that these are baseball players doing it, and down the road they may come to our camps and see those guys again. And most of the kids that play basketball are playing baseball at this age,
sure.
So. It'll be fun.
It's a great way to give them, a face of NEO. They're here on campus, leaves an impression. It's recruiting at its very basic level.
Yeah, they're a little young yet, but down the road.
Trust me, that impression will be there.
You remember when that baseball player gave me a travel and I didn't travel?
Technical foul, that jerkwad that teed me up.
Yeah,
absolutely. You mentioned the Miami basketball tournament and that you guys are going to be taking part in that.
Well, the NEO basketball tournament.
Right. The regional basketball tournament. We got schools coming from Missouri all over the place.
Yep.
You'll be taking part in that with your team also?
Yeah, we've done that. That's always been a responsibility of the entire school. And baseball has always taken care of the main gym downtown, the Civic Center. So, and we've had at times they do 2 gyms because of our numbers. We have 30 or 35 guys to work with. But this, with the student activity center now and the new gym at the high school, all we're going to be responsible for is the Civic Center. So.
And the roles that you take on there?
We do the scoring. We do all the sweeping. We do the announcing. There's about 5 or 6 things that we do. So we do the book, we do the announcing, we do the sweeping, we take care of the locker rooms, making sure as games are going on, that when the teams come in for the next game, that they get to the proper locker room, and that locker room gets locked when they go out, and there's safety and stuff like that for their stuff. So, that's a pretty much all day deal for me.
Sounds like you got a lot going on in the off season.
Well, it's what it is. You got to, we stay busy, and I know that they don't teach you this in baseball 101 in college. That there's a lot of things that go into this that are not just about baseball. So we want to run an overall good program. We want our guys to have a good experience. We want them to give back to the community that gives so much to us as a program, and down the road, hopefully they'll use those experiences to continue on and helping the communities they live on, later on.
Improving your product.
Exactly.
Thanks.